I don't think a man that's not financially in the position to have a woman should have a woman. The stage of where a man is at in his life is the man you're going to get.
You said when you met her, you had $10 to your name and you were living in your father's attic.
All right, so I'm going to be completely honest and open with you.
You said that unmarried women need to invite a man into a problem that needs to be solved.
Because men are fixers.
Your fiance is a private investigator. You can't do anything, my man. You've been with Brittany for 5 years. What took you so long to take this leap to ask her to be your wife? 5 years of dating. Welcome to Vault Empowers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface. We dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. And today is no different. I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. But before I introduce my amazing guest for the day, I need you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a daily dose of inspiration and motivation. But without further ado, I have the pleasure of sitting down with this amazing man sitting next to me, Chris GQ Perry. He is a YouTuber, musical artist, best-selling author, relationship coach, and man of God. As the founder and host of the Chris GQ Perry TV, Chris believes in having hard conversation around healthy masculinity. In his book, 24 Reasons You Are Enough, Chris takes you on a journey to finding self-worth. Chris believes life can be very dark at times, but there is a beauty in finding yourself in the darkness. Vault Empowers Talks welcome social media personality Chris GQ Perry to the show. How are you?
That was a fire introduction. I very much so appreciate that. I'm doing good today.
Good.
Very happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here. We were talking off camera. I always tell people we have the interview before the interview. Yeah, and Chris, you were trying to interview me before the interview.
Well, I had some questions I wanted to ask. I had to forget. I forgot this wasn't my podcast. So.
Yeah, but we can get into it. I'm definitely an open book.
Okay.
But you have reinvented yourself over the years quite a few times. You started off as a music artist. Mm-hmm. You were rapping, singing, R&B. You was like John B. You was giving it to the people. You was... Chris, you have been on reality television.
Yes.
You were on Honeymoon Island.
Married at First Sight, Honeymoon Island, yes.
Yes.
2018.
2018, which is not that long ago, Chris. That's not that long ago.
I know, right?
Yeah, but you have reinvented yourself over the years. And so I really want to talk about what's been the catalyst behind each one of those different moves that you've made to now being a relationship coach.
Really just things that inspired me. Like I always loved doing music. That was a passion of mine. Music is I did R&B, so I talked about relationships just with music.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the vibe. And then I just kind of transitioned to, even while I was doing music, I still had that relationship coach side in me because I had seen so much growing up. I've always had a passion for healthy relationships, seeing my mom and my dad. So that transition from music to relationship coaching wasn't a hard one for me. It was something I was passionate about, something I enjoyed doing. And I feel like that's my calling. That's what God wants from me, is to be able to help people have healthy relationships.
Yeah. So is that what took you on Honeymoon Island, to find you a healthy relationship at first sight?
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about your experience there.
That was a crazy experience being on Honeymoon Island because I didn't know what to expect. First of all, I missed my flight. So I'm like, Dad, God, can I swear on you?
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm like, God don't want me to do this. I missed my flight.
Not you was just late and woke up late. It was God don't want you to do this.
Probably because I was late, right? I'm always running on the wrong time. But anyways, yeah. So by the time I got there, everybody had met everyone and they knew, a little bit about each other. And I knew nobody. So I was nervous.
So where did they film this?
St. Lucia.
In St. Lucia, okay.
Yes. So we were shooting and they told us the day of the shoot, if you don't find somebody, you're going home. So I'm like, damn, I missed my flight. I was late, and I'm about to go home if I don't find somebody. So
you had to find somebody in a certain time.
You had to find Yeah. So when you got there, they put us on this pirate ship, and they let us know if you don't find somebody that you mix with or match with that wants to get to know you more, you have to go home. So there was a lot of people that actually went home that didn't even make the cast.
Oh, wow. Oh, so this is before you even really start, who gets in the top, people to be on the show.
Yeah, before we really started getting into the relationship side of things. So a lot of people went home. Luckily, I had met somebody, Jada, and I had met somebody else.
Jada's are always good girls, right? It's a Jada over here.
Jada
They
was
just
so,
be good girls, you know?
yeah, she was dope. She had like a great personality. She was awesome. And we still have a friendship to this day. Like she's really smart and intelligent. And she kind
Yeah.
of, she's a good friend to have. I'm very thankful that I have met her. And I feel like we cross paths with people for a reason. And there's a reason that I met her.
So you didn't find love, though, on the show?
I didn't. So
Yeah.
I didn't find love on the show.
Yeah.
When I got home, me and Jada kind of just decided to be friends, go our own ways. And when I got back home, I ran into Brittany. And Brittany I've known for 10 years.
And this is your current fiance?
Yes.
Yes.
I've known her for 10 years since high school. She actually didn't want anything to do with me in high school.
Oh, okay.
And that goes back to who I was in high school. I wasn't the man I am today.
Yeah. Well, we would hope not, child. We would hope not. We would hope there's been some changes made since high school.
There's been some.
Yeah.
I had my dog days in high school. I was a young man trying to learn,
Yeah.
I had the guidance of my family, but at the same time, I had my fun, right? So
Yeah.
she knew that back then. She knew I wasn't ready. I actually tried to talk to her and take her on a date. She told me no.
And this is after you're on Honeymoon Island?
No, this is 10 years ago.
Oh,
when I was in
before.
high school.
Okay.
Yeah. But she told me no. She told me she wasn't interested. I ran into her again when I got back from the show after me and Jada decided to be friends. And I asked her, I still would love to take you out. She was single at the time, and she agreed to it. And here we are now. But I feel like it's perfect timing, right? God's timing.
Well, God's timing is something because you said when you met her, you had $10 to your name and you were living in your father's attic.
All right, so I'm going to be completely honest and open with you. She had no idea my financial situation.
Yeah.
But I kind of I wasn't honest with her about it at first
Yeah.
because I'm like, man, when I was on the show and stuff, I had a 9 to 5, but I was still living in my dad's crib. And I told her, I was like, I got my own place. I'm doing good and all this stuff.
You told her this before you go out on the date. Okay.
Before we go on a date, so she assumes like,
Y'all
everything.
know out here they lying to you.
But I cared about her so much, and I
Yeah.
was so interested. I'm like, man, I just really want a chance with this girl. I always
Yeah.
admired her. I always thought
Yeah.
she was like so beautiful and just like such a good woman. So I'm like, damn, I hope she give me a shot. So long story short, she ended up finding out later. Even when she found out, she held me to a certain standard. Brittany holds me to a certain standard as a man. She's like, you have to get your stuff together. So, regardless of where you are now, I know who you could be.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I think that it's important for you to get your life right. And I really had to step up as a man if I wanted to be in a relationship with her because I wanted to be able to give her the things that she deserved.
Yeah. Because
And that was a pivotal point in my life.
It had to have been because you are a father already.
Yes.
And she's not the mother of your child.
She's not.
Yeah. And so that was also a transition of like, how do you mesh these and meld these, relationships together,
And it's a challenge. And I think that it's important for me to display my flaws. But also, I wanted to be very clear that I wasn't able to coast with Brittany. Like she had expectations.
She held you to the fire.
And I had to, as a man, hold up to them expectations because I wanted to make sure I could give her the things that she needed in a relationship and the things that I preach about now as a man.
Yeah, because you have really transformed. I told you this before, literally a year ago. You said that you've been doing this relationship coaching since 2012. But when I look at your Instagram page, you see this shift in the last year.
Well, not really relationship coaching. Back then, I spoke on relationships. I didn't start the relationship coaching until like the last year or so.
Okay.
But I've just always been passionate about it because I
Yeah.
feel like it's just like something I really care about. I care about talking about relationships because I've been through so much. I've seen so much. My parents always held me accountable in relationships. It's just like, it's just something I'm passionate about. And then seeing the dynamic with my dad and my mother. My dad was such a good man, strong black man that really just taught me how to be a man. Right.
Yeah.
And there's only, you're still going to make your mistakes as a young man, but he taught me how to be a man, how to provide for your family, the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't have I had the guidance and some of my friends didn't have the guidance. And I noticed the difference in the shift with my friends that didn't have the guidance, not having their dad in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're learning from your friends how to be a man. because you don't have a man showing you.
Yeah.
And when you have that, you don't know. So if your friend's a player, if your friend's abusive, that's what you become because that's what you see and that's what you're around and that's what you think is okay. But when you got a man, a strong man in your life that's telling you, no, that's not okay. That's not how you treat women. This is what you do for women. This is how you provide. This is what you do when you're in a relationship. It's a shift and you're still going to make your mistakes because I still made mine. But always having somebody that you can go to, like, yo, dad, I went to my dad so many times and my mom too, but my dad just like, yo, dad, what do I do? How do I navigate this relationship? And he'll give me advice. A lot of men don't have that. A lot of young men don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And they getting the wrong advice.
So you've been with Brittany for 5 years. And you and I were talking before, the relationship coach. What took you so long to take this leap to ask her to be your wife? 5 years of dating.
I wanted to make sure I was ready.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I was in the right place.
Yeah.
To give her what she needed for marriage. Because you know what comes after engagement, right?
Yeah.
You got to plan a wedding.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you right for that, because as soon as I got engaged to Brittany, the next day she was talking about the wedding. I'm like, damn, we don't even got a date. Like, she not even playing. Like, she's ready to go. And I want to make sure that I could give her the things that she wants. And she's not like over the top bougie or anything, but there's things that she wants. I want to make sure I was in a position to provide those things for her. And I was just kind of building, but I was focused.
Yeah, because you all are in business together as well, right?
You've been doing, Brandy, you've been on it, huh? You've been doing your research.
It's no need for you to come and sit in that chair and I don't know who you are.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't want to just be introduced when we start talking, Yes. So you guys are in business with each other.
Yeah, we started doing
Airbnbs,
investment properties, in Airbnb and in furnished finders.
Yeah, how's that experience been working together and now making that step to be married to one another?
It was definitely needed because I didn't like working for nobody. She's a private investigator, so she works from home and she does her little thing.
Your fiance is a private investigator.
Yeah, so she could work from home.
You can't do anything, my man, my guy.
Oh, I can't do nothing.
She's on it. That's Inspector
Listen,
Gadget.
but I'm not gonna do nothing. But if she finds out everything about anybody,
I bet she does.
Yeah,
wow.
She plays no games and she's very intelligent, very smart. I got very lucky.
Oh wow, private investigator.
Yeah.
That's it. So what is it like being engaged to? Before I get into this Airbnb,
Right.
What is it like being engaged to a private investigator?
I mean, it's a different world for her. I mean, she kind of like separates work from real life. That's how she's never really had to investigate anything I was doing or anything. But like sometimes she'll get hate from certain people and she'll research and look into them and she'll like learn things about them. But what's crazy is sometimes when she is having to investigate people, she'll go to like their Facebook or their Instagram and she'll see me on there because they share my content. And it's just funny because like she'll be like, I literally investigated somebody today that has our picture on their page.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can't do anything. You're in. You 10 toes down. You locked in for life, my guy. Yeah.
Like I said, she holds me accountable in all ways.
So you said that, and this is really because when you've made this transition into being a relationship coach, you've been very vocal on your social media. All of your page is really about you giving content about relationships only, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you said is broke men want fixers, immature men want mothers, lazy men want enablers, insecure men want puppets, abusive men want objects, good men want partners, hardworking men want supporters, men of God want a rib.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that is very true. The stage of where a man is at the stage of where a man is at in his life is the man you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So if he's doesn't have money, why would I'm big on this, and a lot of men disagree with me for this, but I don't think a man that's not financially in the position to have a woman should have a woman.
So broke men should not be dating.
I don't think broke men should be dating. No.
Okay.
I don't think broke men should be in relationships because one, a man that's broke is not happy.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because when a man has financial income and he has money, he feels a lot better about himself and he feels more accomplished. When a man doesn't have money and he's not where he wants to be in his life, he'll never be able to focus on a woman 100% because he's going to be focused on chasing what he wants.
Yeah.
So for me, that it sounds harsh, but it's very true.
Yeah.
If a man's not financially where he wants to be, he will never be able to give a woman what she deserves.
And so now you're at the place where you want a rib because you're a man of God. That's on your bio. You know,
Man
you're
of
a
God.
man of God.
God first.
And so now you know, she's your rib, and that's what you are in the market for.
For sure. And even though, you know, it might seem like our relationship is perfect, it's far from it. We go
People
through
would think that because of
struggles.
social media.
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
I think that, you know, social media, people show you what they want to show you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's times when, you know, I post things that people might assume that we have a perfect relationship. Far from it. Like, we go through the struggles just like anybody else. It's just the biggest thing with a relationship is you have to be willing to put the effort in and fix things and communicate with your partner. And if you're not willing to do that, you'll never have a successful relationship. And I think that's what me and Brittany do, is communicate and talk and work things out. And we're both willing to put the effort in, because as soon as somebody checks out, the relationship's never going to work.
Yeah. And so how has it been in building the relationship with you having a child? And Brittany doesn't have any children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how has that been, kind of building that bridge with your ex and your daughter?
Very hard. Very hard. The mother of my child did not take to Brittany well at all.
Okay.
She was not a fan. Still not a fan, which is unfortunate, but we do what we can to make it possible. And I'm just being very transparent with you. Co-parenting is tough for me because she's not accepting of my new partner, and she doesn't, which makes it, I feel like when you have animosity towards the parent, it just affects the child. And that's where it really kind of upsets me, because we're trying to have a strong relationship for Bella, and that's it, my daughter.
Yeah. Did you all break up on bad terms, or was there like some sort of cheating, or
No,
that kind of left her a bit wrecked? You know, did something happen?
I wasn't ready when I had a child with her. I wasn't in a position where I felt like I was ready.
Yeah. How
And,
old is your daughter?
She's 7 now.
Okay.
I wasn't in a position where I was ready. And now, being older and more mature, you know, I'm man enough to admit my mistakes. And I feel like I'm a better man now, and I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
But I've always been financially there and consistent as much as I can, as much as she would allow me to, for my daughter.
Yeah. So it's interesting because now you have that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're about to embark on marriage. And you said recently on your Instagram is that there are 5 stages of love.
5 stages,
And most
yes.
people stop at 3. Yeah, most people stop at 3. What stage are you in?
I feel like I'm on stage 4 now. We got over the hump. The stage 3 is the hardest stage, and that's the stage.
Well, tell the audience what the 5 stages are for you.
So, you know, the first stage is the honeymoon stage. It's the stage where you're really trying to. Well, you're not even trying. The first stage is the honeymoon stage where you're just in love. Like, no,
Yeah.
your partner can't do anything wrong. Like, you're just infatuated with your partner.
Yeah.
They're the perfect person. This relationship seems.
Yeah.
You're on a high. You're in the clouds. And then stage 2, you know, you start to realize things, and you start to see a little bit of who your partner really is. And then stage 3 is when you're at the top of the cliff and you decide, are you going to get over that hump, or are you going to just go backwards? And that's really where a lot of people fail, because you start to see the person that you're dating for who they really are. You start to see their flaws. And when you see their flaws, some people don't know how to get over that. And some people don't want to work through things, and they want to give up, because people live on that high of, yo, I want to always be in love and infatuated with my partner. I feel like they're the best person ever. That's not how relationships work. There's going to be days when you don't want to be around your partner.
Absolutely.
There's going to be days when you're just going to be completely irritated with your partner, or feel like you don't even want to be in the relationship anymore. But the question is, are you willing to work together to get past that? Because you're going to go through that in any relationship. And I say this, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, and you have to water that grass a lot.
So what's the last stage?
The last stage is love, is you made it over the hump, you made it through the hard times, and you found your partner, and that you guys are going through life together, and you understand that there's going to be days when you're not getting along. There's going to be days when you're arguing or fighting, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to communicate and work through those things. And you kind of just like, you guys have prepared yourself for that. And you guys are, for me, putting God first so that he can help you get through those times as well.
So what do you think is going to take for you and Brittany to get to stage 5 since you're only at stage 4?
I feel like it's really just continuing
Yeah.
to be consistent in the relationship, continuing to communicate, continuing to work through our problems, continuing to love each other, and always try our best in the relationship.
Trying your best in the relationship.
Giving our best.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not to question what you say. It's just to repeat it back.
Right.
You know, because I think so often we believe that we're giving our best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes we really don't know another way because we've never seen it done, right? You said that you speak from a place where your father and your mother, they're still together.
Mm-hmm.
And
No. My parents aren't together anymore.
Oh, but just how they've loved each other over
Yes.
the years has been an example for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we can only pull on our experiences. And so
Right.
most of us, we're just walking into our relationships, our marriages, our friendships with those experiences, with those cards that we've been dealt. And we only know how to play from that hand,
Yeah.
you know?
And it makes me wonder, like, I don't feel like I would have been the man I am today without my mom and my dad. My mom held me very accountable too.
Yeah.
And I'll share a story with you real quick. Back in my day when I was younger and I was living at home, my mom did not play. Like, she wanted me to treat women right. And there was a time when I was talking to 2 different women at the same time.
And they call in the house.
One of the women was at the house.
Oof.
And my mom was friends with the other woman. And she told the other woman, yeah, come on over, just come over and hang out. We'll be hanging out in the kitchen and just talk. She knew the other girl was there. She got there and I was with the other woman and it didn't turn out pretty. But my mom was the type where if you're doing wrong, I'm telling on you because you need to be doing the right
I'm gonna
thing.
hold you to the fire.
My mom didn't play. She held me accountable for the things that I did. And then my dad did too, but he let me, he let me make my mistakes. And he knew I'd always come and talk to him.
Yeah.
And he'd correct me when I need to be.
Yeah.
And he was, if I really needed to be corrected, he'll be there. Like, Chris, you wrong for this. This is not what you should be doing. Get right.
You talk a lot about accountability
For sure.
in your coaching. And you said that unmarried women need to invite a man into a problem that needs to be solved.
Yes.
Whether if they got tires, if it's a hard drive.
I agree. I think unmarried women, which could be a woman that's in a relationship, needs to invite a man into a problem that they need solved because men are fixers.
Yeah.
Men are going to fix problems.
Okay.
And if he's not willing to fix that problem, then that lets you know what he's there for. And it's not a relationship. He's there for maybe the benefits, the sex, whatever. But a man that genuinely loves you and cares about you and that wants to build with you is a fixer. And he's going to do whatever he can to fix the problems for you.
So how can women invite men into fixing a problem?
I mean, like I said, like if a woman has an issue, like something's wrong with her sink, she needs her sink fixed.
So what would entice you to say, yep, let me go on over there with my tool bag?
She would have to communicate that with him.
So
Listen,
what would you want her to say to you?
Listen, I'm having some issues with my sink. Do you think you can help me fix it?
Okay, that's it. Just simple and plain.
Yeah.
Well, I think I want you to say that because some women may have a problem asking for a man to come into their problem.
Well, a woman needs to work on the communication just like a man does. So she needs to be able to communicate how she feels and the things that she wants. Like I said, communication is the biggest thing in a relationship. And that's on both ends. You can't expect a man to know what you want if you're not telling him.
Yeah.
So you need to communicate what you want.
How did Brittany invite you into one of her problems?
Oh, she invites me into problems all the time. She just lets me know, like, Chris, I need help with this. And like I said, she holds me accountable. And if I don't know how to do it, I'm going to learn how to do it. Or I'm going to get somebody that knows how to do it, and I'm going to help her with it.
What was that first one that you were like, this is my wife? This is a woman I want to spend my life with?
I think it was really when I moved in with her, just like little things around the house that we need fixed, like cabinets breaking or like things like that. I was always there, and there's things I didn't know how to do. I'm like, damn, I don't know how to do this.
I'm like, you handy, you be using them muscles. What you be doing, Chris?
You know, you know that I didn't know how to, but I learned because I
You
do
got
feel
on
like
YouTube, didn't you? I know
I
you
was on
did.
YouTube. I was on
know
there
you
searching,
did.
and it was because I mean, when you think about it, and this is why I think it's important for men to learn how to be handy. Because imagine like if you don't know how to do something, which I don't, or you weren't open to learning, and you got another man coming in your house fixing something. You got to call another man to fix your problems in your own house.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know if I'm cool with that. I want to be able to fix those things and do those things around the house. So I got to call another man. He coming in with his tools, looking all manly and strong, and I'm like, damn, like, nah, we ain't gonna have this. I'm gonna learn how to do this. We're gonna get on YouTube and we're gonna figure this out. So for me, like, that's been my venture for at least for the last few years, is learning how to do things around the house, learning how to fix stuff. I think that's important tool for men.
So inviting into a problem. And so when you talk about women communicating, because I'm sure you coach a lot of women on this part of communicating those things, what is that one thing that that's the first thing you're gonna tell one of your clients? Like if you're coaching them on how to communicate a problem to a man, how are you going to coach them? Like what's that first thing you're gonna tell your client?
I'm going to tell them that they need to communicate better and they need to be able to express how they feel without holding it in, because how would I do that?
Yeah, how?
I would just walk them through like simple like examples. Like if you want this to be solved, communicate with me how you would want this to be solved. And then her communicating it with me, telling me how she feels effectively, and just like correcting her on certain things along the way, and just making her understand that her clear communication is important for a man. Clear, because sometimes men, we don't listen.
Yeah.
So we need very clear communication with certain things.
Straight to the point.
Yes.
Get it to the point.
And her being able to express how she feels effectively without speaking out of anger or being upset or too much high anxiety. Because I know men deal with it too, but women have a lot of anxiety when they're stressed out, and they don't necessarily communicate the best sometimes, just like men. But it's important for us men to understand what our woman wants so that we can try to fix it, and then being able to listen effectively to as men. Believe it or not, a lot of my coaching calls are not women. They're men.
Okay.
It's a lot of men looking for guidance and help.
What are you finding with a lot of the men? And like, what are their ages too?
All types of ages.
Okay.
20 to 30 to 40 to 50. One of the most like emotional ones that I had recently was like a younger black dude that was in his early 20s. And he was like, yo, Chris, man, I just really need help with my relationship. I'm struggling. I'm like, I got you, man. What's going on? He's like, listen, I'm not with the mother of my child anymore. We broke up. She had 3 kids before me, but
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He's a fixer. He was a fixer. He wanted to fix people. He thought he could really help people. And like I wanted to help him. And he was talking to me in his car, and he's just like, man, I'm just really struggling right now. And he's like, he left her. He had a daughter with her, and he met another woman who also had kids. A lot of mental, emotional issues.
It's a lot of kids being roped into this problem,
right.
Christian. I'm trying to do the math and count up all these children.
It'd be so easy for me to be like, bro, you doing too much. Just leave these girls alone. But at the same time, like, that's not what I was there for. I was there to kind of guide him, and I didn't want to like deter him too much. So he was telling me about that. He's like, I really like this girl, but she's got a lot going on. I was like, I understand. And he's like, yeah, I still pay for my daughter's place to live with her mom because she doesn't have the money. I was like, okay, I get it. I was like, well, where are you living right now? He's like, oh, I live in my car, bro. I can't afford to get my own place because I want to make sure my daughter's straight. And that was just really emotional for me because it made me realize like what I do this for men like that need help in situations. Like, yo, bro, he really felt like he wanted my guidance. I said I wasn't going to get teary-eyed. I'm a little teary. But I felt like, as a man, he didn't have a father figure to show him and guide him to help him through those things. So I was glad that I was able to be there to talk to him and help him.
Wow. What's the outcome of that story?
This is recent. So I don't even charge. I don't do nothing like that for no coaching. We don't do coaching calls like that. I just tell him to call me if he ever needs anything, and then we just talk. Like he'll be like, he calls me all the time, like, yo, Chris, I need help with this situation. Can you guide me through this? Can you help me with this or on my
So you've
business?
turned into more of a mentor for him.
That's what I do with a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of times, it's not about the money for me. I could do money with my business stuff. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not about the money because I do charge, but at the same time, it's like, it's not my main reason
It's not
behind
why
it.
you
I'm
do it.
passionate about
Yeah.
it. And he showed me, like, he's an example of why I'm so passionate about it, because I want to be able to help these young men that don't have a father figure, don't have a man in their life to show them, you know, what they need to do, or help them along the journey, or just to have somebody to talk to. Sometimes he just want to talk. Like, bro, I just need somebody to talk to. And, you know, I don't even want you to talk. And then he probably doesn't have that in his life.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't. But with me, he has that. And I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that for him, you know?
So as you're growing and evolving in this coaching space, you know, it makes me wonder, like, are you in therapy? How is therapy playing into this?
Currently, I'm not seeing a therapist, but I have seen a therapist, and Brittany sees a therapist as well. Eventually, we'll do
Counseling together.
couples
Yeah.
therapy. I'm a firm believer in therapy. I think it's very important in a relationship to go see a therapist and talk to somebody, a third party, outside of you guys.
Is it something that you feel like lends itself to the type of work that you're doing right now, and why
Yeah.
it's important to get back into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not always right. So it's
Yeah.
always good to talk to other people and get other opinions in regards to my relationship, in regards to what I'm doing, to make
Yeah.
sure I'm doing the right thing and I'm being healthy about it. You know, I think that's very important. It's very I think it's good to just talk to somebody in general, because there's times I think a lot of people get stuck sometimes alone in their own mind, and that's the most toxic place to be, because that's when you get into those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And you think the world's against you. You get in these like weird spaces. It's very healthy for you to have conversations with people and communicate and express how you feel. Sometimes we need reassurance.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to be told we're doing the wrong thing and that's not right.
Yeah.
And I've been there before. When I was in high school, you know, I'm surprised to be here right now, because there was a times when I was very depressed in high school. I had really bad OCD. I had really bad anxiety. I went to a public school, Johnson City High School, and I was about to fail. I wasn't going to classes. My dad told me, Chris, I'm putting you in a Catholic school. I don't care if you want to go, because they wouldn't let you leave the school, or they made sure you was in class in the Catholic school. He's like, I'm gonna put you there, and you're gonna get right, because I need you to graduate. And he actually put me in a Catholic school. Then he coached the Catholic school football team. I ended up going to college and graduating successfully. But during my high school years, I was depressed, man. I wanted to I wanted to end my own life, man.
Wow.
I was very depressed, man. Like I was not happy, and I kind of tried to hide it. But that's what I advocate for is people that don't have somebody to talk to, or somebody in their life that is a positive role model, that they need that. You know, and I feel like this young man needs that, because I don't ever want him to feel the way I felt. And if he did, I want to be able to get him out of that hole.
So you say healthy, and that really makes me think about how you are promoting in this season healthy masculinity.
Yeah.
And so what is that? Because a lot of people, they hear toxic masculinity, but
Because they listening to Andrew Tate, man. They doing too much. They listening to Andrew Tate.
Well, what's the healthy masculinity?
Unhealthy masculinity is when a toxic man listens to somebody talk about healthy masculinity and they completely misscrew what the person is saying. Like, these men think that they need to be top dollar men and they need to make all this money and women are just going to flock to them, and that's how it should be. That's not how it was ever intended to be, and that's not how it should be. Healthy masculinity is understanding that, yes, you need to be a successful man, but you also need to respect a woman.
Yeah.
And you can't just get what you want from a woman because you think that you have money and you have all of this success. Women aren't just meant to be there and be your servants.
Yeah. Is that what you're finding with a lot of the guys when they're calling in to have these coaching calls with you? They're calling to talk about how they can have
I don't think those guys really call me because they're not gonna like what I have to say from the stuff that I post. A lot of the guys that I coach are open to understanding what healthy masculinity is. But these other guys, are just very stuck in their ways. They just look at a woman as like, do what I say. I don't want no talk back. I don't want to
Yeah.
communicate. This is how it's going to be, and this is what I expect you to do.
Yeah.
I did a post not too long ago where I talked about that, where it was, y'all expect a woman to go to work, come home, clean the house, take care of the kids, make dinner, and do this every single day.
And she's been at work.
And what are you doing at home? All you're doing is going to work. So for me, it's like, you can never just expect that from a woman. You have to be a partner in a relationship. And there's a way to do that with healthy masculinity. There's a way to play your role, the masculine and the feminine. And then there's the polarity, is the balance of the two. There's a way to balance that. If you have a woman that's been independent her whole life, is very strong, wants to go out and get it herself, there's still a space for a masculine man in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to find that.
Absolutely. Finding that space is hard because you talked about the whole world is Hollywood because of social media.
Right.
The whole world is Hollywood because of social media.
Yeah.
So how can we build healthy relationships and still be on social media?
I think that we're in a time where people take social media. I think that people think they have so many options because of social media. People think that they see all these beautiful faces, all these beautiful people. They get all this attention, influencers, and they just assume that they always have options.
Yeah.
I don't think that people always have options. I just think that they assume that. That's
Yeah.
the ego talking. And they forget what they have at home. I see so many men, and I get so many messages from women about men who are hearting and liking other women's comments and DMing them when they're in a relationship. And it's all these beautiful women that they don't even want their woman to be like, but they're still over there like showing them attention, not realizing what they have at home, and that they have a good woman that's willing to ride for them and be there for them and support them, but they'd rather show attention to these women that don't even care about them, could care less.
Is liking the pictures on Instagram a
Yes.
problem?
I think so, yes. If you're liking half naked pictures of women on Instagram and you're in a relationship, that is a problem.
So it's not like Sports Illustrated, because I can open up my Explore page, Chris, and I can see booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere. Every time I open up my Instagram,
Right, right.
I see thongs, I see.
But you're a woman, though. You could like a woman's picture. But
Well-
now if you over there with liking these men
So if I'm in a relationship
with
and
their shirts off and
so
they
I can't go like pictures of men who got their shirts off and they're working out or they're doing their little workout videos. I can't do that if I'm in a relationship.
I mean, if it's a workout video inspired by that, cool. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? When what these men are liking is not that. They're not inspired by what the women are doing.
And so
Most men
that's
are
a
not
problem.
inspired by what a woman is doing as far as trying to be successful online. They just care about how she looks and if they can have sex with her and if they have a chance.
Okay, wait.
Men are hunters by nature.
Rewind. Run it back. You threw a lot out there on that play.
All right, let's get it.
there.
Come on. We can talk about it.
You said that men are just looking at what they don't care about a woman's success. They're not being inspired by
A
that.
lot of these men, yes.
They're not being inspired by a woman's success. They're being inspired by what she looks like and if they can have sex with her.
A lot of these men, yes, they are more intrigued by what a woman could do for them sexually. Absolutely. And that's just how it is. Like a lot of men see it. I mean, if you see a woman twerking online, do you think a man is worried about what her profession is as far as like an entrepreneur? Or do you think they just looking at her like she's hot and I'm trying to hit
Chris,
that?
I don't know. I would be like, look at her twerking for Jesus. Look at her.
Look at her twerk. See, that's because you're a woman, your mindset. That's not what men are thinking. And if they tell you that,
Look
they
at
they are
her.
lying.
Twerking for the Lord. I
And
see you, girl.
And really, they heart in those pictures, hoping that the woman would see that, letting them know that they engaging. That's just where we're at in social media. I don't think any man hearts a woman twerking online and thinks, yeah, man, she must be very successful with her business and she's doing well. That's not what a man's thinking when he likes those pictures. He's like, she looks sexy. I want to hit it, and I'm gonna like that photo, and I might comment or jump in her DMs. You know how many of these women complain about? You see it, women that complain about men in their DMs, sending dick pics and doing all this extra nonsense. It's not because they respect them. It's because they want to hit it.
One time, I had a man in my DM send a dick pic. Okay. in his, in I
You saw it?
I saw it. I unblurred the image. I mean, what else was I gonna do? I was gonna unblur, unblur.
Why'd you unblur the image though?
Cause I was curious, and then I
Oh.
blocked him. That man could never. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that man. I was just like, "What is this picture?" And then, whew, wow! And it was so not sin worthy. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't worth. It's like the people who sin, they're not sin worthy. You know, it's like you should have more.
Did you know anything about him? Was just
Never.
a
I've
fad?
never seen that man a day in my life, but I definitely was introduced to his other friends. And
So how does that make you feel when a guy just sends you a random dick pic in your inbox?
I think it's comical. I mean, honestly, because most of the people that send those pictures, they're unworthy of being photographed. They're unworthy. They're not worthy,
That's
God.
hilarious.
They're not worthy.
So
They're not worthy of being photographed. It would baffles
would you ever
me.
give a man a chance that did that?
No, I don't send that to me even when we're in a relationship. I'm not that type of person. I don't want it on my phone. Yeah, I'm not that type of person.
Okay, okay.
Don't do that for me in a relationship. I'm good.
Not even in a relationship?
I'm seeing it in real life. I don't
Okay,
need to
I
see it
got-
in a photo.
I see that. Like, some people are different.
I got
Some people
real-
want a little
real-
spice. I'm gonna be home in a little bit. Let me just send you a picture real quick. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just always weird to me. It's kind of like that's not the thing I want to see. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
like that's even I've been in great relationships and I still be like, yeah, don't do that.
Right.
I don't want to see it.
See, well, I think men are a little different. Man, I mean,
Nobody can say they have a picture of me.
no.
No,
mean,
not out here.
I think it's
on
different when
anyone's
you in the
phone.
public eye, though.
Yeah, not on anybody's phone.
Because then you got to worry about them leaking it and all that extra stuff.
Well, there are apps. There are apps that you can use that I was introduced to. There are apps like Confide, and you can
Oh, you can sneak it in there.
do it, and you cannot
Invisible
screenshot.
mode.
You can't record. If you screenshot on the app, they will alert the other person, and then you have one more chance. You will be kicked off the app. Yeah,
Well, how you know about that app, though?
because I'm on it. Hey,
So you-
hey,
Hold on.
Some things are confidential, Chris, and they deserve a level of privacy. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
So you on it. So you using
I
it.
am. I have used it. Yeah, I was introduced to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was introduced to it. And when you get introduced to it, guess what? You get to see who in your contacts is also on it. Hey.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not
I
in
only
that
had
world.
12 people.
12 people.
12 people out of all my contacts who were on it. All attorneys, all founders of companies. Yep.
Jeez. I mean, that's social media. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
about none of that stuff nowadays.
It's a real
but
thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, I can only imagine how hard it is to date right now
I can't
with
too.
all this temptation. Like, it's crazy.
I can too. I don't think that it's so much like as far as like temptation. I think it's being able to weave through the muck
BS.
and the mire that is out here, in these here dating streets.
Right.
I think that's the real issue. But when you are coaching men that are in their 20s, what is their biggest gripe or concern about dating for themselves right now?
A lot of the guys that I coach are in relationships. So
Okay.
they're trying to be a good man in a relationship. A lot of them don't know. That's what I'm running into. A lot of these men just don't know how to be a man in a relationship and provide for their woman and do the things that that their woman wants. A lot of women are frustrated. They feel like their man's not doing enough. And women aren't perfect. So women are a lot of the problems I run into with women is communication. Communicating effectively with your man what you want. And frustration. I think a lot of men that aren't being effective in relationships, women are getting frustrated because a lot of men that I run into grew up with a single mom. So they expect their woman to do all of the things
Yeah.
that their mom did. And
Yeah.
that is, they want their woman to be their mom essentially. And women are frustrated and tired with that because they feel like they're doing so much and the man's not doing enough.
Yeah. Well, honestly, Chris, I think with so many women who, when you grow up in a single parent household where the mother is the primary, parent, you do grow up with this idea that no one's coming to save me. So I'm going to have to do everything myself. I need to learn how to take care of myself. I need to be educated. I need to be smart. I need to be witty. I need to have some gumption and ambition about me because there's no one who's going to take this out of my hands. I'm going to have to do it myself. And so I think even to the point of men wanting women, it's men grew up in houses where they saw women who did everything. They went to work, they came home, they cooked, they cleaned, they did all the things, not understanding how stressed out that woman really was, you know?
I agree. And then they put that load into their relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then women are like, I'm not your mom. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be doing these things. I'm not going to
Yeah.
accept these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's that third stage, right? That third stage. Are we going to get over this hump or are we going to go backwards?
Going backwards. What's the thing right now that you think most people, why they go backwards?
Not not willing to fix the problems in the relationship that your partner is expressing to you. I think that that's the biggest problem in relationships. When you hear your partner communicating what they don't like or what they're not happy with, and you not willing to change that or fix that to have a successful relationship and being receptive to that.
You know, we just had an interview. Tim Ross was on the show and said that, you know, part of him wanting to change in his relationship was not for his wife. He had to change for himself. And so do you think that most people are unwilling, they're failing at the change part because they're trying to change for the person and not trying to change for themselves?
I would agree with that 100%. And when you're already in the relationship, it's like you have to change for yourself, but you also have to change for your partner if you want to have a successful. If you care about your partner, you have to make those changes. And I agree that a lot of it is you deciding that you want to change for yourself so that you can change for the relationship. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. How are you looking to shift this landscape of relationship coaches? Because when we look at Instagram, everybody has the microphone, everybody's
course.
offering advice, everyone
Has opinions.
has an opinion and a platform about relationships. And so, how are you looking to shift this landscape as you kind of navigate these waters?
I'm not necessarily trying to shift anything. I'm just trying to do what I feel like God is calling me to do. And that's give my advice through my experiences and help the people that God sends to me to help. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm not here to change nothing. I'm not here to completely shift the world. I don't think that's what God wants from me right now. God just wants me to help the people that are willing to listen and looking for the help.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just, and fortunately, you know, I was able to build this platform to what it is and have millions of followers. But at the same time, like, my goal is just to help the people that I can and give
Yeah.
my perspective. Once this is my opinion, this is my perspective, this is what
Yeah.
I feel. That's it. You could take it or you could just leave it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I feel like this is not the only way.
Yeah. Is there pressure that comes along with those millions of followers? Because you do have quite a large following on social media. 2.5 million followers on Facebook, 1.9 million followers on Instagram, TikTok, all the things, all the platforms. What comes along with that? Is there some pressure in that?
No, I've been doing this for so long. 10 years ago, I had 1 million followers on Facebook, and I don't really care about that. Like, the point is, like, no, there's not no person or not no group of people that's going to change my opinion on my beliefs and what I feel is right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what I feel is right and what the right thing is. And I don't fold under peer pressure or anything like that. I've never been that guy.
Yeah.
If I believe something and I stand behind it firmly, I'm going to go forward.
Yeah. So no pressure with
No
these
pressure.
millions of followers.
No.
You don't ever feel like you're in a fishbowl.
No,
Okay.
not at all. Like, there's no person that can intimidate me. Like, people are just people. We're all people just trying to
Well-
do something and be successful or live out our purpose.
The fishbowl, though, is people are looking at you. There's the eyes on you.
Right.
That you don't get to turn those eyes off. You don't feel any pressure for that? You don't feel like that has some sort of pressure on your relationship? Does it have some sort of effect on your relationship at all because you have such a large social media following?
I think in the beginning it did because Brittany wasn't prepared for it. She was just kind of like new to all of this stuff, so she
Yeah.
would get messages from girls and people hate mail and all this crazy stuff, it affected me in the beginning. But then like I feel like I've been doing this for so long that like it doesn't really affect me, and I feel like she's in a good place now because we communicate a lot, and we don't live our lives just around social media. What people say, we have a life outside of social media, like a very strong relationship that's continually growing. And that's the goal, is just to continue to grow, continue to be on the same page with Brett, and have her communicate how she feels as well as me communicate how I feel. And I feel like that's just kept us strong, because social media is, if you let it consume you, it will consume you, and you will turn out a very ugly person. You have to be able to separate your personal life and social media. And I feel like I've done that very well, and it's kept me very humble because I don't allow anything to get to me. I don't let anything get to my head. Because just as quickly as I got it, it can be taken away. And it was a blessing that I feel that I'm thankful for, but it's not something that makes me or determines who I am as a man.
Yeah. Is there a strategy behind the growth?
I would say yes. There's a strategy behind the growth in the sense where you're delivering messages that are impactful in short clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
Talk about the strategy, because I know as we get ready to close this out, there are people who are looking to amass followers. They're trying to get and grow their social platforms. And so what is that key thing to your strategy in building the platforms?
I would say, one, the consistency, because social media is very, like, if you don't post on social media consistently, your engagement's just gonna drop. Like they expect you to post to stay in the algorithm. You have to post content that is engaging. You have to post content that is, 1, meaningful to you, 2, engaging, and 3, within the formula of short clips, to the point, in very clear messages that people are interested in talking about and that you're interested in talking about. And I feel like that's how it really takes off. Yeah, I feel like that worked for me. I can't say what's going to work for the next person.
Yeah. Was there a moment that was the moment that kind of hit and you went viral? Was there a moment?
Like I said, I started my journey on Facebook many years ago. And when I did start it, I did a relationship video when I was starting my music stuff. And that was my first viral video on Facebook. Okay. And this was around the same time that you had the Derrick Jackson. Like, so Derrick Jackson started... Ooh. He started around the same time as, like, I started when he started.
Myself up. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So when he started, we did content around the same time, and this was a while, 10 years ago, somewhere around there. And I went viral for the first time. I was at my job, and I was excited. I'm like, this is really dope. Like,
where were you working when you went viral?
Oh man.
So we can give people perspective.
I was working at the children's home.
Okay. Wow.
I worked with kids.
You was over there working with kids and got this viral video going around.
Yeah, but that's what it's all about, is my journey, right? Like, my parents didn't have a lot growing up. The humble journey of trying to build and doing it all on my own. I never had nobody to like give me the keys or show me the way. I really had to get in the dirt and figure out what I wanted to do, and then put some pain in. And I feel like I'm not even close to where I want to be, but I'm not stressing it because I know that God has a plan for me. So it's like, okay, this is where I'm at right now, but I have goals and I'm very ambitious, and I feel like things are going to really work out. And your father is a lot of the inspiration behind what I do, because I love what he does, and I want to do things very similar. I want to have my own talk show. I would love to base it around relationships. I would love to have guests on in this kind of setup, on a TV platform. I just feel like that's my next journey aside from the podcast and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So as we close, one book you're reading and one word you're living by in this season of your life.
I just finished, for the 3rd time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
That book is very important to me because I feel like it kind of changed my business mindset. The Masculine and Feminine was a big book, because it kind of gave me more understanding of pretty much the things that I talk about.
Yeah.
So those two books are like my favorite books of all time
Okay.
because I feel like it really transitioned not just my business side of things with real estate, but my business with relationships
Yeah.
and podcasting.
Are you reading anything right now?
Right now, I kind of fell back from the books because I've been focusing on the podcast and stuff. But I have a couple saved to my Audible books.
Yeah.
What
One
about you?
word. Right now I'm reading 10x is easier than 2x. That's my book right now for the month of January.
And what's
Yeah.
that?
It's about how you can do more by doing less. It's about quantitative, not qualitative. Yeah. So that's the book I'm reading, and then the Soul of Sex. That's the other book I'm reading right now.
Okay.
So one word you're living by in this season.
One word I'm living by. I would have to say humility is one word that I'm living by. Is always remaining humble and understanding of other people. Because I think that is what really keeps me grounded and keeps my blessings coming.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation, very enlightening. Chris GQ Perry, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Vault Empowers Talks, we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep. And so this was like no other day. So I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. Until next time, you guys, eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. Peace.